Hey everybody, this is Desiree from Pine and Berry Homestead. Before we jump into our video today, I wanted to show you some pictures that I took of the land before we prepared it for the garden, just to give you an idea of what we started with. So we actually purchased our house in October of 2021, and we didn't get to start working on the land until probably March of 2022. So the first picture that you're going to see is a screenshot from Zillow when we purchased the house. As you can see, that area is just overgrown. There were tons of stumps back there, branches, bits and pieces of trees, huge roots, tons of rocks. We had to bring in some heavy equipment to get that all removed. That took quite some time to do. So thank goodness we had the heavy equipment to do it, because we wouldn't have been able to get as far as we did without it. So this is just showing after we removed everything, showing all the rocks we dug out and hand raked. There is a huge hole in the garden where we dug out a gigantic rock. My poor husband had to pull it out by hand. This is a picture of my husband putting in the posts for the garden fence using a post hole digger. And this is what it looked like once he was done. So our yard is actually a highway for deer. I mean, there's like 15 deer at a time going through the backyard. So we had to protect the garden from the wildlife as well as our chickens because they are super destructive. After that, we slowly started gathering the wood for our 4-foot by 8-foot raised beds, and I decided on the layout of the garden. In this picture, you can see we got 6 raised beds built, but I only filled and grew in 5 of them, and because this was the point I started losing steam. Our 2022 summer was extremely hot, and I could only get out there in stolen moments. The garden quickly became neglected, and before I knew it, it looked like this, an overgrown, weedy mess. I just could not muster the energy to take care of it. So I allowed myself to hit the reset button and stepped away for a while until I was able to get the inner strength to weed whack it. I just didn't have it in me. And this is just showing where we started. So part of the purpose of me making this channel is to show that small little baby steps taken over time compound, and before you know it, you've made huge progress. Both my husband and myself work full-time, and we have a 4-year-old. Our life is so busy. We are always on the go doing something. But by doing the next thing in front of me and taking the next small step, I know it will eventually get me where I want to be without feeling so overwhelming. And that is why I'm making this channel. So on to the video.
Hey everybody, I don't think I've formally introduced myself. My name's Desiree from Pine and Berry Homestead. I live here in Maine with my husband and son on 3 acres of land. We actually just moved to this property in 2021, so this will actually be our 2nd year of gardening on this land. In my previous video that I posted, I had talked about how difficult it was to work the land and get this plot set up for growing in. I mean, it was overtaken by weeds, so many rocks. Like, I can walk around and show you some of the rocks that we've pulled out. Humongous rocks. It was hard work. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears went into this. I wanted to give up probably 20 times before I finally was like, nope, I really love to garden, so I am going to work through the difficultness of this. So I just kind of wanted to take you along on the journey with me as we continue to grow our garden and continue to work on it day by day, step by step. We have a long way to go, but right now we are currently working on getting, so far we have 6 raised beds built. We're going to build 2 more in the back, and we're going to make those mini hoop houses to see if we can extend our season, because here in Maine, we have such a short growing season. So anything that we can do to extend it will be helpful. Eventually, we would like an actual hoop house, but that's way far down the road. We have so much work to do before then. And I'm not sure if you can see, let me just show you. We still have snow on the ground. So while the snow is still on the ground, what I am going to do is get some of these boxes laid out so I can smother the weeds, because this garden was just overgrown with weeds. It was crazy. I was so burnt out by the end of last season that I decided I needed to step away. Sorry, minor interruption there. But yeah, last season I had to step away. I just was so burnt out that I really needed to take like a mental break. And I think that really helped put things in perspective for me. So by taking that break, I was able to get the energy that I needed and hit the reset button so I could come up with a plan of what we were going to do this year. So right now, I am taking this little wagon full of boxes over there, and I'm going to continue to work, and I will keep the video going as long as possible. My son may run in here, so if I don't have like a tripod or anything set up, so if he comes in, he might knock my phone down, and that's okay. All right, so really, I'm using Amazon boxes right now, but my mother-in-law was kind enough to bring me some boxes from the diner that she works at. So I have a bunch of those that I had previously laid down earlier today that I kind of showed you in the video. But I'm trying to get all this tape off the box, and it's being a pain. So I'm just gonna keep at it. Okay, I really didn't think you guys wanted to watch me break down boxes and just lay them down, so I'm just going to show you. We started all the way up there today. You can see my lady is over in my compost pile. We started all the way up there and we made it down to the end. Started running out of boxes, so I'm going to have to get more before I can continue, but I just kind of wanted to show you the progress that we've made so far. I'm gonna put some rocks on top of the boxes so they don't fly off. I don't know if you can see back there, but those are just some of the rocks that we pulled out of the garden. Like, I came in here with a metal rake and I raked all of those rocks out of this garden. So I will go ahead and just continue to lay boxes along this back edge, up over here. Don't mind the mess. We are still figuring things out, but just kind of wanted to show you the progress we've made so far. After we lay the boxes, I will go ahead and put some leaf mulch on top, and then I will apply a thick layer of compost, and that should really help to smother the weeds that grow in this area. Then we are going to build a raised bed right back here. We're gonna have to fill in this hole, obviously, so no one trips and breaks an ankle. And then we're gonna build another raised bed there. They're going to be 4x8s. And another thing on the list that we have to do, if you can't tell, is fix our fencing. So this is just chicken wire that we put up because it's what we had, but the weight from the snow caused it to kind of collapse in on itself, so we have to fix that as well. I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but we're going to build 2 more raised beds. I'm going to lay cardboard down inside of the raised beds, and then I'll put compost on top of that, and we should be able to grow in that this year. I also got 3 cattle panels that I'm going to put up as arches in between the first 6 raised beds, to do a archway for our pole beans. And as you can see, we actually have some garlic coming up, which is awesome. I did not get to cover it this year. I was kind of behind, so I didn't get to cover it with straw or anything. So we'll see how it does uncovered. It'll be a good little experiment. I put the rocks there to just make sure I knew where the garlic ended and where I could plant other things. But yeah. Uh-oh. Scoochie, scoochie. All right, well, that was a whole ordeal trying to get that chicken out of the garden. I don't like them coming in here because they will literally tear everything up. So I'm a little out of breath. Yeah, as you can see, I'm totally a messy gardener. I leave things all around. Forgotten. These got chewed up by, looks like the lawnmower or the weed whacker. Threw a pumpkin in here. I am just super excited to show you guys how this will turn out this year, and just so you can see our progress and come along with us, and also for me to document my progress and my hard work as well. Thank you for hanging out with me today.